Now, let's go see Joey with the orchids.
We're here in the Carpinteria Valley. Now, a lot of you have heard about the greenhouses, and you know about all the flowers that have been growing. Now they've grown exotic flowers out here for decades, and now, you know they're growing some special ones. You know the ones I'm talking about. Let's go meet Joe Ambriz, who has the Kingdom of Plants, and he's got special exotic orchids and other species. Okay, now there's a reason this is called the Kingdom of Plants. Look at this. You need to come out to the Kingdom of Plants here in Carpinteria and to see what you can do for your Zoom meeting. Now, check this one out. I think this is one of the most beautiful specimens. Now imagine, I'm having my Zoom meeting. Isn't it great? You can see it, can't you? Or, what about this one? Oh my goodness. Okay, so now what is the proper name, the genus?
So the proper botanical name would be Platycerium bifurcatum.
My grandmother brought me from Georgia a little small staghorn fern.
Nice.
And that staghorn fern now is almost this size.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's
so this
awesome.
just is so exciting.
Super
and
fun.
a lot of you out there are going to know this man from Santa Barbara High. Okay, so he's an alumni,
right.
but also a teacher. So you were a percussionist.
Yep.
Are a percussionist.
Been
Wait.
percussionist probably over about 30 years now. Taught and was the percussion director for Santa Barbara High School's marching percussion for a little over a decade.
Go dog!
And, yeah, both of my grandmothers were avid orchid growers.
My grandmother too. And she would come up from San Diego to come to Earl Warren Showground for the Orchid Show.
We really want to keep the Santa Barbara International Orchid Show alive because it is one of the most unique experiences to be a part of and go and witness.
And the variety, what people don't realize that if you've been born and raised in Santa Barbara, so many other areas don't have the variety of species that we have. But let's get started and go see some of these beautiful
Let's do
orchids.
it. All right.
Come on.
This is the new flask of Paphiopedilums bred by Bryce Augenstein, and this is how we start the orchids.
Now, Anthony, you'll recognize because he is the dog whisperer, Montecito dog. He's the one that introduced us to Joe.
Look how nice it looks in your hair.
Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, so Joey, are you gonna sell me this one?
So that's Laelia anceps viciana.
They're your okay, so these are really your babies, aren't they?
Yes, definitely are. I've grown them for a long time. That's about, that one plant there is probably about 7-8 years old.
Okay, so tell them why you're not gonna sell it to me.
Because it's hard to part with your babies.
I do have some pieces. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to set pollen on it, so I'm using it for breeding. I have another cerulean or blue cattleya out, so I want to put that on this guy and take this and create it, try to get it rounder, bigger, and flatter. What is always is the goal.
That's the goal. Rounder, bigger, and flatter.
Rounder, bigger, and flatter.
Wow, so many incredible different varieties. And like this. What is this? Hi, Joey. Okay, so you went from Joe to Joey. Now that we're learning about all these great things. Okay, so this is a Madagascar Palms.
Yes.
How old is this one?
Ooh, that guy there's, I would say about 10 years, 10 to 11 years on that guy.
And it's got babies down
A
here.
lot of babies. It's happy. It's a happy
Oh,
camper.
Gosh, it's gorgeous. Okay, so look at all of these.
So these, as you said, the Madagascar Palms, we know them also as Pachypodium lameri. And these are all the ones you'll see here are I grew from seed. So all these start as a little seed I harvest from the mama. The Buddha Bali plant. It gets a really swollen trunk. So a lot of what I grow in here are called caudiciforms. And these are all plants that have a swelling trunk or root system. This is one here. It'll get a really broad trunk on it. We call them fat plants, all about these types. And they consistently are pushing these orange flowers and then go into seed, which I will then harvest and create new plants out of. Now they are slowly going into a semi-dormancy. You'll see it yellowing. They tend to in the autumn drop a few leaves, but here in the Central Coast, especially Santa Barbara, they're always pushing new leaves and a whole new inflorescence starting there. Inflorescence is what's going to hold the flower. These are what we call the brain cactus for very clear reasons. But I've been told by many this week that it looks like worms, like brains. I love hearing what kids have to say about them. So these are a grafted gymnoclisium. One of these little plants were originally grafted to this cactus here, just like that. Then that grew to this size, which is gonna take quite a few years, about 3 to 5 years to get to this size. And then it starts producing the offsets, which we see all the pups or the babies coming off the side.
And red. Now tell me, I have never, ever
Sure
seen
red.
a red orchid.
Yeah, yeah.
This is so
And that one's
enchanting.
finishing, so it was really intense, and the orange backing starting to come through. And its parents are Trick or Treat and Cattleya rubescens. So there's a orange, big-headed flowering Cattleya with a reddish one that created this almost deep velvety red color.
Okay, who doesn't love an air fern?
A great cool little fun fact about air plants in Tillandsia is they're only from the Americas.
Really?
So very new world. And so there's no Asiatic species, no European species. And
Wow.
this is the inflorescence. So out of this, it's starting to branch, are going to become these purple flowers that smell like grape candy. The best way I could describe it is it reminds me of like the grape pixie candy. And I think that's what people don't realize is how many Tillandsias actually have fragrant flowers. We have some beautiful yellow ones right here. And this is a small dwarf Tillandsia. So this is an old plant that's about 10 years old. Oh my gosh, they smell so wonderful. Like a, almost, I guess the closest thing to think of would be like a jasmine-y like fragrance.
This is the spot to come to start cultivating your own kingdom.
Definitely.
And this man knows all about how to get started and what to do to solve different problems.
Definitely, yes.
Definitely. You want to come out here to Carpinteria and see for yourself at the Kingdom of Plants.